everyone. Welcome to a conversation with our nonprofit winner for the first quarter of 2023. Today, we have the pleasure of chatting with Megan Reid of Enlighten Farm in Southern New Jersey, which is this quarter's winner. I'm Marsha Layton Turner, and I'm one of several Women's Net Advisory Board members, and I have the great pleasure of introducing our winners. So Megan, thank you so much for making time to chat with me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's start at the beginning. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about Enlighten Farm and what its mission is?
Sure, yeah. So Enlighten Farm is part of a larger nonprofit organization, which is called the Hansen Foundation. And we operate pretty much in the South Jersey area. So we're in Egg Harbor City. And the mission of the Hansen Foundation is to provide safe and affordable treatment and also housing for folks who are in recovery from substance use and mental illness. So they partner with another organization called Enlighten Recovery, where we work together basically to fund scholarships for people to go into treatment and also scholarships and opportunities for them to stay in safe, sober housing after their time in their treatment period. So it's a really holistic approach to treatment that kind of extends beyond just the 30 to 45 days that people are in treatment, and actually extending that care and support system far beyond that so that people can really take the time to heal and get what they need. So Enlighten Farm's component of that is that during people's treatment, during their days in treatment, they can come to the farm twice a week to receive horticulture therapy sessions, which is a really unique and beautiful opportunity for us to use plants as a way to kind of support people on their journey of healing. And so sometimes we'll make herbal tea blends, or sometimes we'll make flower bouquets, or just kind of focus on people resting and detoxing as they're going through this intense time. So yeah, the mission of the farm is basically to provide a safe space for people to be while they're in treatment, and also to provide supportive vocational training for folks after treatment so they can apply to work at the farm once they're in sober housing, and they can work here 20 hours a week to help pay for the rent and get them going in their transitional period. So
Wow.
that's a general idea of the farm.
And it's it sounds so multifaceted and really so important today, the work that you're doing. So
Thank you.
just
Yeah.
so interesting and terrific, really. So I understand that you intend to use your grant to start a mobile farmers market, which sounds super interesting to me. Can you tell us why that's so important to your program?
Yeah. So the mobile food market, the mobile farmers market, would encompass the facet of the farm that we're hoping to increase food access for the folks that are post-treatment and living in our sober living homes.
Okay.
A lot of whom have been enrolled in food stamps or the SNAP EBT program, and a lot of folks who are hoping to enroll as well. So the mobile farmers market will be offering like weekly produce bags to our clients that are in housing. So it's specifically for them, so they can have access to fresh, healthy produce on a weekly basis. And so they will be getting like a certain discount depending on, like, if they have SNAP, they will have it at a 50%. So the grant money, that's where that kicks in to kind of offset the cost of our labor and our production, so that we are able to offer this produce at an affordable price for folks who are low income or food insecure, so they can have access to food without having to stress about it.
And what's the geographic service area? Is it a very small area that you're going to be?
Yeah, it's relatively small. There are 6 houses where people would be living, so it'd be within like a 10 to 15 mile radius around Atlantic City. So there's 3 that are on the island. They're in kind of like multiple places around the area, but it wouldn't be anywhere super far. So we would pick we were thinking maybe a day when they have like house meetings, so people would all be in the same like in the house at the same time, and we could take our van and kind of just drive it around to each house, and whoever has signed up can come and get their food for that week, and we just kind of keep it on a weekly cycle. But we still have to iron out a couple of those details, but that's generally what we're thinking, just to keep it simple.
This sounds a lot like community supported agriculture, where you
Yes.
subscribe and go to one place to do your pickup. Very smart.
Yeah, it's a similar, we were kind of using that as a model and something we've been wanting to incorporate at the farm. And so we're like, why don't we just start with people that we already know, and people that we know eat food, need food, and already have a connection to Enlighten Farm, because a lot of folks have either worked here or received horticulture therapy from us. So we have that connection already.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about any upcoming important milestones for Enlightened Farm.
Yeah, so one thing that we're really excited about is that we have applied to get a loan through the NRCS, which would be for a high tunnel, which, if you're not familiar, it's basically like a greenhouse, but it's like you'll see them at a lot of different farms, but they're kind of like that tall, like A-frame structure, which allows people to grow produce inside all throughout the winter. So we already have a site set up. We're just waiting for the approval, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen. And what that would do would be to let us continue to grow all throughout the winter. So that will increase our production and allow people to have access to greens and whatever it is that we decide to grow in the high tunnel throughout the winter months, because that can be the hardest when you're going through the winter and there's not a lot available to you. So the hope would be to be able to sell some of that produce to some of our vendors, but also use some of that for the mobile farmers market.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, so how can members of the Women's Net community show support for Enlightened Farm? What are some ways that we can bring attention to you and the work that you're doing?
I think one of the biggest things is just spreading the word that we exist and what it is that we're doing. We're a small but mighty organization that we have a lot of connections in our area, but it would be great to get more and more people just aware of our mission. And so that could be something as simple as following us on Instagram, which it's just at Enlighten Farm on Instagram. So you could follow us, see what we're up to, share any of our posts or anything, so that our community continues to widen. We also have opportunities for volunteering at the farm. If you're local, you can go to the website, which is just thehansonfoundation.org, and then there's a little section where you can click on Enlighten Farm, which will have photos and updates about what it is that we're doing, and there's options to donate and also check out volunteer opportunities. So yeah, those would be the biggest things for now, is just to use social media as a tool to kind of share about what it is that we're doing, because we're doing really important work in our community, and I want people to be able to share about it.
Fantastic. And Hanson Foundation is HANSEN?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, Megan, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to share your story, the story of Enlightened Farm with Women's Net. Really appreciate it. And congratulations again for being our first quarter winner.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you and to chat with you. And we are just so grateful to have this opportunity to support our mission and to support the farm and the people who benefit from it. So thank you again for investing in us and believing in our mission, because it means a lot.